right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Mulder Life Podcast. We are live here Monday night, and I am excited to be here with you all for another week of the Mulder Life Podcast. And I hope you all are doing well, and I know I am, and I'm excited to be here tonight, guys. And if there's anything you guys would like to talk about, we'll take questions like we do every single week about landscaping, equipment, business, life, literally anything you guys want to talk about. That's what we're here for, and I am excited to be here again tonight. I want to say a big shout out to our sponsors this week. First up, we have Synced Up project management software. Cut estimating time by 90% and actually make a profit. Go check out syncedup.com for your estimating software, time tracking, job costing, and those types of things. You will not be disappointed. They are great customer service, and I'm very thankful for their support of the Mulder Life Podcast, and I'm proud to say that it's a great program and a great company, and you should go check them out. So, also, for the first time ever, we are welcoming a new sponsor tonight, Pave Tool Innovators. And I am very excited to have them as a sponsor on the Mulder Life Podcast. Ultimate hardscape solutions for your business. Taking the hard out of hardscaping. I think a lot of people in this industry are well aware who Pave Tool is, but I thought it would be cool. I went on their website before we went live here, and I had never been on their on a part of their website. It's called Our Story, and it's kind of a quick story about their company and how it, why they got started. And somebody said, I don't think your main mic is working. That's weird. I'm not sure why. It sounds good coming through my ears, but maybe I'll have to check that out. I'm not really sure. Sounds like it's just the phone mic. Okay, well, hold that thought, guys. Let me mess with this real quick. I'm not sure why. Hang on a second. Let's try that. Is that any better? Anyone? Yeah, I'm not sure. Let me know if that sound is better. I want to try and make sure the audio is good. Nobody likes to watch something that has bad audio. No, it's not any better. All right, hang on a second. Let me. Somebody said seems fine to me. Still not working. All right, hang on a second. I'm going to do something else. All right, how about that? Does that add any better? I went to a different input on my board. Maybe there's something wrong with my board. I don't know. It's kind of embarrassing. Sorry, guys. Let me know if that's better. No sound now. Much better. Okay, way better. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I've been trying a different type of hookup because I'm streaming on YouTube at the same time, and so YouTube, hopefully you guys can hear okay on YouTube. I don't know. I'm experimenting with YouTube, and it's been kind of I don't know. I got to figure out something else. But anyways, if you're watching on YouTube and you can't hear me, let me know and I'll just shut it off because I want to have to do something else. But anyways, so back to Pave Tool. So Pave Tool, big sponsor now of the Mulder Life podcast. I'm very, very happy to have them as a sponsor, guys. They are a great company and a great family, and I have used a lot of their tools and a lot of their products for a long time, and it's really cool to have them as a sponsor. PaveTool.com, in case you've never heard of it before. And anyways, like I was saying, I was on their website earlier, and they didn't ask me to do this, but they have a part on their website about their story, and it talks about how they started Baylor Brothers. So Phil and his brothers started Baylor Brothers. I'm going to give you kind of the cliff notes of it. But 1985, Tom and two of their brothers, Tom and then Phil, and then I guess another one of their brothers started Baylor Brothers. It's a landscape company, and the business grew. They started making tools to find out ways that they could improve their efficiency and be more competitive. And they started doing that. And in 2007, then they started manufacturing their own tools and started selling them. And it says, our wish is to help other fellow hardscapers advance in their businesses to save time, increase profits, satisfy their employees, reduce physical pain, decrease workman's comp claims, and become more professional. After all, this is what tools have done for us. This is what it says on the website. It's a great way to make a living if you enjoy. Hardscaping is a great way to make a living if you enjoy hard work and love the satisfaction of what you can create with your hands. If you incorporate into your business plan honesty, integrity, hard work, tools, and systems, you'll be successful. Pave Tool continues to strive to provide tools and services that exceed your expectations. We extend our family's values of hard work and integrity in all that we do. We look forward to adding you to our Pave Tool family. And that was written by Phil Baylor. And their mission is to improve the hardscape community through proven innovation solutions, education, and superior customer service. And so yeah, I had never read that, and it was actually really cool to read. And so if you don't know what Pave Tool is, they sell all kinds of hand tools, suction and vacuum equipment, clamps, lifters, paver cleaning and care stuff, compaction equipment, drainage, ventilation, edge restraint, splitters, saw and dust management, joint fill and adhesives, levels and screeding, Optimus large paving, mechanical paving, laying equipment, and different kinds of organization things for your hardscaping business. And it is so awesome to have them as a sponsor. And for the first time, we have a coupon code that if you use anything that you can buy on their website, anything, use the code Mulder Outdoors, and you can save 10% off your entire order. And I encourage you guys to do that. It's really awesome that they were kind enough to provide a coupon code for the listeners of the Mulder Life podcast here. And so again, Mulder Outdoors, and you can save yourself 10% off your entire order of anything you can order online. I believe anything that you have to call in an order, I don't think it will apply. Also, if you have a bar box, I don't know if you knew this, but they now are the sellers of the bar box. The same guy is still manufacturing them, but Pave Tool is now selling them. And if you mention my name when you order, which you have to call in an order, I believe, if you mention my name, you will save, I think it's $200 off. I believe it's $100 or $200. You're going to save some money by mentioning my name when you order your bar box. Yeah, I'm really proud to have Pave Tool as a sponsor. I mean this, like, they're great, Rob. The suction equipment, like, it was, when I started my business, it was like a dream of mine to start buying some of their tools. And I really mean that, like their clamps. I think the first thing I ever bought from them was, I bought their stand-up screed set. Actually, no, it was like, they sell a tool set that's like all the stand-up screed, lifters, it comes in this big white box. It's huge, and I think that's one of the first things I bought from them. And I remember buying it at an H&A event, and I don't know how many years ago that was. And it was just so cool to own some Pave Tool tools. And I have never bought something from them that wasn't as heavy duty as they said it was going to be. I've never bought something from them that I've regretted, really. I mean, it's always been very well built and high quality tools made by people that actually do this every day and understand what we need and why we need it. And so I encourage you guys to go check out pavetool.com, and a big thank you to them for sponsoring the Mulder Life podcast. So, and as always, you know the rule, you know the deal. All these can effectively fit into the Mulder Life podcast. We got some trigger foods, and we'll take questions like we do every single week. Durf Surf Landscaping says, any business ventures you have thought about exploring, or what would you do if your business shut down tomorrow? That's a great question. Well, if my business shut down tomorrow, what would I do? I'll tell you, I don't think I'd be like, I wouldn't be freaking out. Because we've set ourselves up in a way, growing our company debt-free, where if my business shut down tomorrow, it would not be, I wouldn't be immediately in danger or trouble or whatever. And that feels really, really good. I know that's not what you asked, but I just have to say it. Business ventures that I've thought about, I think it'd be cool to start a business that goes around to people's landscaping businesses and shops and organizes their shop for them. That creates organization and tool organization and layout and workbenches, and I don't know, I love that stuff. I've spent a lot, I'm getting ready to build a very large building this summer, and I've spent a lot of time thinking through where things are going to go and how I want the layout to be, and when I built this building, I just did it as I wanted to and as I had time, and it's like it was like a hobby for me to like set it up, and so I really enjoyed. I just really enjoyed setting it up. I'm just reading on YouTube here. No quality sound for YouTube. It's just a distant sound. Yeah, so it's coming straight from my phone. I'm sorry, guys. On YouTube, I'm gonna have to do a different setup for YouTube. I don't know what's going on with what I'm currently doing. It's just not good. But if you're on YouTube and you want to hear better quality, go to Instagram. Streaming on Instagram, it's a lot better. So yeah, I've always thought it'd be cool to do some kind of like shop, some kind of business where you go to someone's shop and you just like dial it in. You're given a budget or something and you get to set it all up and make it better. I feel like that'd be I would love to do that. Another business venture, I think it'd be cool to offer tilt rotator training. So after you have your tilt rotator installed, like going around to people's businesses and training employees on how to run a tilt rotator. I think that'd be something that I'd be interested in doing for people. I love what I do every day, right? It's like my business is like, it's like a hobby, honestly. I enjoy it. So it's like, if I didn't do it, I would do something that was somehow tied to it, I guess. If that makes sense. I love doing what I do. I don't know. I haven't like spent a lot of time on what would I do. I like working with wood. I like building things. I don't know. very hard to think about like what else would I do. But those are the things I guess that come to mind. Yeah. There was a question earlier that said, what is the new tool that you teased last week for the maintenance team? And you are correct. So last um, last Saturday, yeah, it was Saturday, I put together a new, it's called it's from the company Mega Attachments. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that. Mega Attachments, yeah, I don't, it's, oh, I'm seeing some comments at the top that I missed, sorry. I'll get back to those, but, yeah, it's like this big dumping hopper that we were able to put on our standard, we run all right mowers, so it's whatever we like. I've been running right mowers pretty much since the first year of business, second year of business, maybe our first. But yeah, so we got this dumping hopper that bolts right onto the front of our standard 52. It's a standard X 52 inch, and so it bolts right on the front, and you can, it's a manual dump, but it went on in about 5 seconds. I literally had, if I had the tools out fast enough, my youngest son was helping me, but if I had everything out quickly, I could have put the thing on in literally 3 minutes. And it's sturdy and heavy duty, and so the guys took it out today, and we're using it for mulching. And it will come off obviously in the summer when we start mowing in the next 2 weeks. I don't know if we're gonna start mowing next week or not, but we might start mowing next week. I wouldn't mind pushing it 1 more week, but we'll see. The grass is greening up pretty fast, but the weather's still pretty chilly, so I don't know. But it's definitely greening up everywhere right now. So yeah, I don't know. It was made by Mega Attachments. A friend of mine sent it to me and said, "Hey, this looks cool," and it was only $1,000. And for what those are, I know like Mulchmade or something makes one, but it has wheels in the front. And I like that this one didn't have wheels in the front. Now, whether that would be a big decision or not, I don't know. I mean, it has like a 300-pound weight capacity, and I'm not really sure what the other ones have weight capacity wise, but I like the one that I ordered, and I ordered it, so we'll see. So yeah, that's really cool. Earlier, when we started the episode, TMM Bay says, well, question mark? I guess you were impatient for me starting, sorry for taking too long. Johnston Construction says, are you doing the site work on your building yourself? No, I am not. It is a lot of site work. I actually just came to an agreement with a company last week to do the site work, and it's a lot. Like, I need to bring in 3,000 or 4,000 yards of sand to build up my building pad. That is because the elevation of the site where I want the building is too low, and I need to raise the building pad about 4 or 5 feet, and so that means we're gonna bring in a bunch of sand to make that fill. I could have maybe moved the building to a higher elevation, but at the end of the day, I wanted the building where I wanted it, and when we're all done, it's gonna make total sense, but it's just a big import of material, which is not like anything that I'm incapable of doing. It's that all this is gonna happen when we're busy, and I don't want to be messing around with it. I think I spent some time talking about this, and maybe in a future episode we'll like concentrate entirely on the property and the building. But I am planning on having an excavating company come. I have 2 retention ponds that have to be dug and shaped, and topsoil that has to be dozed off and piled up and then respread, and a parking lot has to get stripped, all the topsoil stripped off of it, and then all of my millings that I have 1,900 yards of millings that are currently there, but I need another 19 or 2,000 yards of millings still, which I am in the process of working on getting. So it's going to be a big, it's a big excavation, like an earthwork property, site work job. And it's just something that I don't want to take on myself. I'll come back and do the finished grade and seed it when we're done. But ultimately, the big bulk work will get done by someone else. All right, I'm gonna, Nunez, Outdoor Living says the pave tool grade rod is a game changer. And I'm telling you guys, I would argue that is one of my favorite pave tool tools. And I slept on it for too long when I first saw it. I don't know why I couldn't wrap my head around it. Even though Phil had taken time to like show me it, I don't know what it was. I just couldn't. This was 2 or 3 years, and I'm like, oh man, that much money for a grade rod. And you know what, guys? I'm telling you, I will not hardscape without it. It is the best grade rod you can possibly have for doing hardscaping work. You're always working from zero. It's much easier for easy adjustments. It's easier for somebody that doesn't have a ton of experience using a grade rod. It's way faster, and it's phenomenal. So go check out the Pave Tool grade rod and use that code Mulder Outdoors, and you will save 10% off that grade rod. And you will not be disappointed, for sure. So scroll down here a little bit more. Sorry. I'm having technical difficulties today, guys. Anyways, Duba Scuba says, "What's up, brother? Hope all is well. Thank you. Appreciate that." Joe Harvey Landscaping, thanks for being here tonight. Aching Acres, I saw you're on here, man. Thank you. JLP Services says, "Did your advertising help you get your commercial lawn maintenance customers, or were they mostly referrals and recommendations?" I have never, maybe when we were starting, otherwise, I have never really done advertising for commercial lawn maintenance. They were all referrals, or they were people that owned businesses and we did landscaping work for them, either at their house or a family member or something. And it's just been slow growth. We lost 2 commercial accounts this year for a couple of reasons, but that stuff's going to happen. But otherwise, for the most part, year over year, we've been able to build long-term relationships with these customers. We don't have long-term contracts. I'd love to try and do something like that, but a 3 or 5 year contract or something with commercial, it seems to not be a thing these days. And I don't know. Maybe I need to push a little bit more. I'd love to have that just for peace of mind. Would be nice to have some longer term contracts, but I don't know. It's I probably could get more accounts if I pushed selling more maintenance accounts. But at the end of the day, like I have one maintenance crew, and that keeps us busy a lot and keeps us busy enough, and it always seems to be exactly what we need. And I would say we have 50% commercial and 50% residential, like account-wise. Revenue-wise, it's more on the commercial side, because on the commercial side we have a lot of customers who are doing mulching, we're doing fertilizing, we're doing bed maintenance, we're doing irrigation shut-offs and turn-ons, we're doing pond maintenance in some of these things. There's just, it's a larger amount of work, all encompassing. I don't have any commercial contracts that include the snow. That is not something that I have in contracts. I keep the snow separate, and frankly, I think all of our commercial accounts, except for one of them. No, that's not true. Half of our commercial But yeah, I really enjoy commercial maintenance. It's very much more, it's a lot more hands off. There's less complaining, there's less nitpicking, I guess. It's just better. Um, and you can do more work for that customer typically. They'll call you for different things that maybe you could do and you can offer to them. I would say as a whole, I definitely prefer commercial over residential. Top Rock Design Landscape says the grade rod was the first piece from K-Tool we bought, and we just bought the second. Yeah, I just bought my second grade rod last fall when we were setting up our big bar box, toolbox. And it was like, it's not a luxury, like it was like a necessity to set up that bar box. We had a laser and all that stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, that's the grade rod we're getting, no matter what. So go check it out. I also love their quickie adjustable drains, paper drains. Those are so awesome. I'm telling you, phenomenal design. As anytime I need a drain on a patio, that's the drain I want to be using. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go check it out. It's this square drain, and it has like a bolt with a threaded rod, and you can use that. You can mount it to your 4-inch drain pipe, and then you can raise and lower it with a wrench or a socket or whatever, and you can raise and lower it to get the height dialed in, so you don't have to have it so perfect. And if you want to lower it a little bit, you can lower it a little bit. And I'll tell you that has saved our rear ends a couple times where we needed to have it down, because after we screed it and everything, I'm like, dude, I really want this thing another 1/4 inch lower, and then we just lowered it down. Go check it out, and it's worth the money. And this stuff, a good bit of their stuff is not the cheapest thing, but it actually is what you want, and it's very well made and actually worth the money, so go check it out. Johnston Construction, when does site work start on the building? I don't know that yet. I'm still waiting on an approval from the county for the site plan, which we are waiting on the state to give us our driveway permit. And I was hoping I would hear about that today, but I haven't. Maybe tomorrow. Hold that for but it still isn't. Yeah, like I said, we're waiting on our approval of the driveway permit, or our actual driveway permit from INDOT, so Indiana Department of Transportation. That's what we're waiting on. And so once I get that, then I should be able to go to the county to get my final approvals, which we were told is not, once we have all these things, it's not a big deal. It should be a fairly quick process, because if it hadn't got, if these other things, so we have the highway department approval, we have INDOT approval, we have health department approval, we have stormwater approval, and at that point, if all those people say yes, then the last person is just looking at all the yeses and saying yes. So we are like 99%. This is what I'm praying it happens this week. I'm so excited. And once that happens, then we can move forward. And I most likely we will wait through the spring to get past the spring wetness to start the earthwork, because we're one of the retention ponds, the detention. It's a retention, so it retains the water and then lets it out. It does not detain it. I think that's correct. I could be wrong, but anyway, I know we've talked about this before. But anyways, one of them is in a wetter area of the property, and so it would be the best situation is if we wait until it gets into, past all the April rains, maybe started in June. Earthwork should not, I was told earthwork should probably take me a year. For them, it'll probably take them a week or two. So, but it's going to be like big earth moving equipment to reshape this property and strip all the topsoil, move it where it needs to go, and bring in all the sand and then compact it in lifts. And yeah, it's going to be sweet. So I've been waiting to do this for 10 years, literally 10 years since we started the company, 11 years really. And I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm not gonna go halfway on this thing. Like, it's going to be the real deal, and it's gonna be dialed in, and the offices will be built to completion. There'll be a mezzanine. It will have radiant tube heat. It will not have radiant floor heat. It will have, obviously, air conditioning in the offices. There's 2 bathrooms. There's a couple of shop sinks. There's air drops. There's all kinds of electric. There's a lot of lighting, obviously. I would say the only thing that we'll be waiting on until the following year will be the larger apron out front of the shop. There's gonna Initially, they're going to pour like a 5-foot apron across the front of the shop, but then later I want to come back and pour like a 35-foot, so we'll have a 40-foot apron in the front of the building. That's what I'm hoping for ultimately long term. But right now we're just going to do 5 foot across the whole front. There's a parking area that's going to be concrete for like I have to have 3 spots. One of them has to be handicapped. And that will be poured in concrete, and then the goal would be down the road is to match how far that comes out all the way across the front of the shop, and have a really nice big, apron in the front. Like, that's like my dream. And then there will be a 60 by 60. I think it's 60 by 150 foot concrete pad for my bin pad. I don't know if that will happen this year or not, because initially last year I was like, oh man, if all I do is get the bin pad poured, then I don't care when the building starts, because I really want the bin pad, which I do really want the bin pad. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But now that the building isn't going to start till probably this summer sometime, we're not going to be, and because of where the topsoil has to get pushed, and where I want to, and the amount of grindings I have to make the parking lot, meaning I need double the amount of grinding millings that I have currently on site. I need double that to finish the whole parking lot. So it's going to take me for sure the whole year to get that parking lot filled in and compacted and all that stuff. So because of that, where the bin pad has to go, I'm not going to be able to utilize that space until I have enough millings to get to that space. So for that reason, I'm going to push the bin pad. It will be after the building is built. So most likely, maybe in the fall we pour that pad before the winter, but that would be ideal. I'd love to have that, because then we have all winter to build the bins and screw around with all that. So maybe that's what my goal should be. Ideally, is we pour the bin pad this winter, or this fall, late fall, or whatever. I'm just kind of thinking through that in my head right now, but yeah, it's going to be sick. So I've been running my company out of shipping containers for its entire existence, and we are going to build a really cool building now. So Johnston Construction says, please tell me you are keeping topsoil and selling it, or using it on the property. That is precisely what I'm doing. A lot of it will be used around the building, because my building has to have such a big fill to get the building elevation. A lot of it will be used around the building to shape it and slope it off really, really nice. Like, it's going to be, like, if you stand where the building's going to go right now, and you're like, holy cow, the building's going to be up to my chin. Like, and you're like, that seems insane, but then you start looking around and you start seeing the way the topography is, and 80 feet from the building, it kind of comes up, and it's like, well, we're gonna blend from here down to there, and it's just, I'm confident when it's done, it's going to be like we never did it. Like, it's going to be perfect and nice runoff of water, and the building's high, and you're never going to regret having your building high. So there's going to be a lot of the topsoil that's used. I'm going to lose it a lot on that, and then we're going to obviously need some to top back off the ponds once they get built. But then anything that is extra, anything that extra will get pushed behind my bin pad on the opposite side of the property. And then my plan is to, we have an awesome screener from AD Equipment. Go check out adequipment.com. And we have a Rotostar screener for my 80, and my plan is to then be able to sit on top of the dirt pile behind my bin pad and scoop my topsoil and turn right around in my topsoil bin and screen it right into the bin pad. And that will be like where we dump topsoil and where we screen dirt, and there's room to, like, I have, the way my bins are set up, there's room to be able to drive around the backside, and then maybe one day if I need it, I can do double-sided bins or whatever. I know it's going to be, sick. So, Joe Harvey says, will there be a wash bay? No, not formally. 3 of my bays will have drains in them, 20-foot long trench drains. I didn't wall off the last bay because I want to see how we use the building. Originally I had a wall on the last bay to do that, and ultimately decided that I could always build that wall later and make it a dedicated wash bay. But for now, I'm not going to do that. I have looked into this curtain system that is super nice. And so I may do something like that where you pull this curtain all the way around where you're washing. I think that could be really cool, actually. Or if I decide down the road, man, I really wish I had that wall in that one bay and just block that bay off, then we'll build the wall. I don't want to do something in the building that I can't change, and that wall would be something that it would be a pain in the rear to change. And so it's very easy though to add later. So that's the only thing why I didn't do a dedicated wash bay. Everybody talks about the dedicated wash bay, and it is a cool idea, but it costs a lot of money. I can't remember how much it was to build that wall. Then, because you have another wall there, then you need a separate heating source in that space. So it's not just building a wall, you need more than that to do that. You need doors in there, you need all this extra stuff, and I just decided that I can easily spend 50 grand down the road to build this wall and put in a nice big, if I was going to do that, I wanted a nice big overhead door that went in between with like a high lift track, and like, it's not just having a wall space. That's why I decided to do what I'm doing, and I think it's going to work out really well. And again, if I want to change it later, I'll be able to do that. NG Lawn Care LLC says, Andy, funny story. Aside from running my small landscape and lawn business, I help run a family ran business. We sell heating equipment, and I had the honor of quoting your new bill. Really? No kidding. Interesting. Like, what do you mean? Like, what did you quote? Like the tube heaters? I'm assuming, is that what you're talking about? I also sell heating equipment. Interesting. That is crazy. Send me DM. I'd love to hear more about that, I guess. Wow, what a small world. He can't figure out who this. Yeah, that's who's building the buildings, Stanford Builders. So, wow, that's crazy. What is the other company? What is the company? Let me know. Infrared heat, solaronics. Yeah, that's what my proposal had. That's what they said. They would do 2 solaronics tube heaters or something. 100,000 BTUs. I don't know what they were. I didn't spec it out. They spec it out. So, or you spec it out. That is crazy. Wow. Well, I hope it's going to be good. I don't know. Send me a DM. I'd love to talk to you about it, I guess, a little bit more. LB Thornton. I'll have to check that out. I'm just writing that down. That's really cool. Small world for sure. Wow. Johnston Construction says, why do I see Andy building 100 by 100 foot additional building strictly for watching? No, I'm not. You know what? I would say what I really would love to do is I want to build or pour a big washing pad outside that's not right by the building, because like I don't want my guys pulling excavators into the building and washing, because grease flies everywhere. We did that one time in this shop, and there was grease everywhere. And I said, never again. You will wash it outside. And then I didn't even want them washing it on the concrete pad outside because grease got all over the concrete. So I said, we have to wash this in the stone. And once you do the degrease, and then you can pull it onto the pad and wash the rest of it, because grease literally flies everywhere. And so what I would love to have is some kind of pad that's far enough away from the building where something could get pulled up on it, and it's sloped or something one way, and all the mud can get washed down or whatever. I don't know. I haven't decided like what I want it to be or how I want it to work, but I know where my pressure washer is mounted in the building, and where it is. I know that, like, I think where I want to do this, the hose, if I have a 100-foot hose or whatever, it will easily reach all the way over there, and then you can degrease and wash all the mud off over there, and then pull it over into the building if you wanted to finish washing it or detail the inside or whatever. And so that's more so what I'm looking for, is washing the trucks. You know, like I said, I want a huge apron outside, and then it can get pulled in, or you can pull it in and wash it. That's no big deal, washing the truck inside. That's the least of my concerns. It's the equipment that I don't want being washed inside the building, because grease just goes everywhere. And I already have my pressure washer. It's sitting right over here. I bought a pressure washer last fall, actually last winter, and it was in December. And yeah, I was able to get a great end of the year deal on this pressure washer, and it's natural gas powered. It's burly. I don't know what PSI. I can't even remember anything about it, but I know that it's freaking awesome. And it needed like 300,000 BTUs. It required that. I had to tell the gas company that, and I think it's 4,000 PSI. I don't know. It's a beast of a pressure washer. I'm so excited to have this thing in the shop. Again, I'm planning this thing being fully dialed. So. NG Lawn Care says LMAO, I told Pete I was a huge fan. That's awesome. I don't know if I've ever actually met Pete. I deal with a lot of other people in the company there. And that's crazy. What a small world. Crazy. John Henry says, well, glad I tuned in, because grease all over our new white wall wash bay would be a disaster. Now I need to make some adjustments. Yeah, dude, that's what like I kept coming back to with the wash bay, was just stuff splattered all over the walls, and I know that's what would happen. Um, and so that's not what I'm planning on happening. That was one of the decision makers on me having a walled off shop bay. I thought, what if I build this shop bay and I get frustrated because there's stuff splattered all over the walls everywhere? Because that gives everybody permission to just blast stuff all over. And of course it can be washed off, I understand that, but that's not what I want. They can wash it outside or on the equipment wash pad that I want to do or something, whatever that looks like, I don't know. And then they can pull it into the building. And again, this is exactly what we talked about, but Promo Landscape, what brand is the new pressure washer? It's a hot seat. It is, I don't know the model number. I just know it's natural gas powered. It will get vented out of the building, and I think it has like an 8-inch vent that has to get ran out of the building. And it has, I can run soap through it. It has a control pad that the pressure washer can be mounted on the other side of the building. Like, it doesn't have to be where we're washing. Water then gets, of course, ran to where you are at, where you want to have your reel or whatever, and then it has like this pad that you can it controls it all. So the pressure washer can be in a room, 100 feet away, and then right where your reel is and everything has this little control panel. You can turn it on and off. You can do all the controls right there. That's, as far as I know, that's what it is. And a buddy of mine has the same thing and says it's the real deal. And I can do like a surface cleaner with it, like a real surface cleaner, which I'm really excited about, because my little hot seat that I have in here right now, I think is only 1200 PSI or 1400 PSI, and it can barely run a surface cleaner. And I'm talking like a 12-inch circle surface cleaner. It's very little. It just doesn't have the volume. You need a lot of volume. And that's what I wanted in this new pressure washer. Because when you're washing equipment too, you need volume of water, and not so much pressure, it's volume. Like if you have a muddy piece of equipment or whatever. And so I'm really excited for this thing. It's all wrapped up over there. I got it. I stored it in the corner and I covered it up, and I never even opened it. So I have that chilling, ready to use. So John Henry says, we are doing a big curtain between the wash bay and the rest of the shop. Awesome. Let me know what kind of curtain are you using? Did you make your own out of a tarp, or did you order a legit wash bay curtain? I'd love to know, I guess, what you did, John. Johnson Construction, random thought, what about a pole barn style 40 by 40 building on a concrete pad? Yeah, a lot, I mean, even a lean-to or something, but I don't think it really needs to be covered, because once it's washed off and degreased, it can gladly come into the building. I'm not concerned about that. So I don't think it needs to be a roof covered situation. Me and Jeremy Swire have talked about a bunch of different ways to do what we're trying to do. I'm not going to tell you what he has a really good idea of something that I think is going to work really well, and it's not my place to say that on here. But I think what he's talking about doing could work really, really well. We've talked about there's a 2-foot high wall or 1-foot high wall, and the concrete is sloped to this wall, and that way everything washes down for that, and then it catches the mud, but then the water can filter through or something, and then you can easily take a skid loader and just scrape the mud out of it. I've spent hours and hours researching on Google and trying to find somebody that's done what we're talking about, what I'm talking about doing. I did find one thing that was similar. It was much more complex than it would look like a loading dock almost. So you pull the equipment down this loading dock, you pressure wash it all off, everything washes to the bottom, and then it had this, it was almost like where it was kind of like a tank where it's like a septic tank, right? The solids float to the bottom, the water rises and then filters over, and you're left with just water draining out and not the mud. And then you can pump that water out and scrape and scoop out all the mud. It was very involved, more than what I think there's a simpler way to do that. I always had thought about this idea where you pour, say, 2-foot high walls in a square, and then you build or have this grate system, heavy duty grate system that's, say, 10 feet wide or something, where the piece of equipment or truck pull over this huge grate system, and it's sitting on a grate, and then you wash it all and everything falls through the grate, right? And then when it fills up, when that say it's a 2-foot deep by 30 by 12 or something, and when that fills up with mud, maybe there's a ramp on one side, or we just take the excavator and we can go in there and we can just scoop out the mud and get rid of it. But then how do you get rid of the water, right? The water maybe can rise to a certain height. You can probably put like a septic tank where the water comes in and it has a, I think it goes like, it's got like sanitary tea, but then your water can filter up and over. I can't remember how that goes. Basically, where their water rises, and then when it gets to a certain point, it flows out like a solid sink, like that kind of a thing, right? I love the idea of like a grate system where it's level with the stone around it, and then yes, somebody just said basically like a quick oil change garage setup where their work area is in the floor. Yeah, but it's like that. But it's like not near as deep. You're not like able to walk under it, but you're driving over it. You're washing. Everything's just falling right through, so you don't have to spend all this time like cleaning up after you wash. It's already like fell through. And I mean, it could be built out of like probably 1/4 inch like flat stock, and like build this. It would look like I think it's like a CNC table or something, where it has all those slats, and then you set a piece of steel on that, and everything goes through it. Kind of like something like that. And it would be easy to, quote unquote, easy to make. But something like that, and then you can just drive right off of it. And then whenever you need to clean it out, you take the excavator, you pull off the grates, you take your grading bucket, and you just scrape that bottom clean, and put the grates back on, and you're good to go. And for us, I feel like something like that could, we wouldn't have to clean that out but every 2 years or something. Like, I don't know. Talking through that, like right here on the podcast, I like that idea better than the other idea. But it probably is more costly, of course. But I'm not planning on leaving the shop for a long time. Like a cow barn, only collecting the mud. Exactly. I think that's exactly what I'm talking about doing, but for washing equipment. And like, I think if it was like 30 feet long, you wouldn't need it to be any longer than that. I don't think when you don't have semi. So I think 30 feet is enough for any one of my trucks to pull on and be all the way on the grade. I bet you it can be shorter than that. But say it was 30 by 12. I think that's all you need. I don't think it would need to be bigger than that. So I don't know. I need to mess around with that idea. And it isn't going to happen this year. That will be a next year project for sure. But yeah, there's so many different ways to do stuff in your building, and so many different people, so many different opinions on a shop and what it should be and why you should have a certain thing. But I've come to the realization that everybody uses their shop differently, and everybody has a different system for how they treat their equipment, or where they park their trucks, or how they store materials. And if you listen to, you couldn't build a building big enough to fit everybody's ideas in. So it's just like it's going to be a 60 by 100 foot, 50 foot building, and I've had people tell me that, dude, you need to go deeper. And size 400 times. But at the end of the day, you have to weigh the cost of the building, the size of the building, how you're going to use the building, and I just have decided this is the size building I'm going to build. I wish it was 300 by 100, but I don't have $5 million to build this building, right? It's just not, I'm just not going to do it. And there's other things, like, I have to make the building make sense for our company, and this building is already much bigger than what we need. And so, we're building something to grow into, for sure. But I don't think you could ever get to the point where you would say the building is big enough. I just think I have to build what makes sense for us now and for the future, and something that we can afford to build. And like it's more important for me to build the bin pad than it is to make my building, whatever, bigger just because I want it bigger. I don't need it to be bigger. I think I'm ultimately going to be very happy with the size of this building. And it's going to be super awesome and usable, beautiful, and I'm excited. So, yeah. Guys, I think we're going to wrap this one up. We ended up talking about the building a lot, which we seem to do whenever I bring it up. I think a lot of people like to talk about that. And I have no problem sharing anything, with you guys. We don't need to make this podcast a shop build podcast, but I think there will be a lot of talk of that in the coming months as things keep going. And like I said, I have a YouTube series that I'm doing on it and have done on it. I haven't uploaded a video about it in a while because frankly the weather's been junky and there just hasn't been a lot of action going on it because we're not holding it back right now. We're just not getting going yet. So, but there will be a lot of footage of the building, and I'm really excited to share that with all of you. So, guys, I want to thank our sponsors. Again, synced.com. Go check them out. Super thankful that they're a supporter of the podcast, and also for the first time ever, Pave Tool Innovators. Go check out pavetool.com. Don't forget to use our coupon code Mulder Outdoors, 10% off your entire order, and you will not be disappointed in the stuff that they sell. I'm telling you, it's the real deal. So, and also as always, Alden's Candy Factory, the official candy of the Mulder Life Podcast. We'll catch you on the next one.